Hello, my name is Leslie, and this is my journey to surrender into God. Um, I'm really tired and cold. I had this really interesting dream last night. Started out okay, and then it ended horrifyingly. Horrifying? Hor? What? Horrifying. It ended tragically. It ended painfully. It ended. It ended. I woke up. But like the start of the dream, there was a school and there was a custodian, and I was like friends with the custodian, we were homies. And I was teaching in the school, and then I was being taught in the school. It was like morphing into different things. And then we had like this coloring page, and then people kept giving me their things so that I would do them, and I think I ended up actually taking them so that I would do them. It was coloring pages. You know? And then my mom picked me up, and we drove to this appointment that she had. But like the waiting room, you literally drove right into it. But there were like people. So I was like, oh, I'm going to go talk to people. And I crawled through the back of the vehicle, and I was just chatting with people. And then I was taking a test. And I ended up being like put in like a program where we would take more tests to see if we qualified for something. Don't ask me what. But while we were taking this test, there was this guy, and we were supposed to be running, like doing a test. Like we were doing like question tests. Like they would ask us questions and we would answer them, that sort of test. But the facility was running a different type of test where they were like something destructive, okay? Or something that was supposed to be good but could be destructive. And they were talking about how they were going to start the test. And he was like, no, don't start the test. And they were like, you being ridiculous. And he's like, no, it's not secure. You can't start the test. And they were like, yes, we can. And he was like, no, you can't. And he grabbed a gun and he like did the pew pew straight to the air. And it caused like this huge commotion. And at this point, the dream is turned into like narrator point of view, like third person. And the girl that I had originally been, but no longer was because this is now third person point of view, was just like standing there. And then like the ceiling was starting to like cave in. And he was like, oh no. And he like ran and like pushed me out of the way. And in the process, his leg got crushed. And this person was like, was she really worth it? All while he's like trying to, like, I know what it's called. I know what it's called. What are they called? I know what it's called. You know the thing with the band and they're like, and then like your arms like, I can't breathe, and it's can't breathe. Technically, because your hmm? Blood oxygen. It's yeah, arm turned purple. Anyway, so he was doing that, and then next thing you knew, I was the guy, and the doctor took like these office scissors and like pulled the skin taut and started cutting the arm off, and it was an arm, but it was the leg. It was really weird. But I felt the pain in my leg when I woke up. It was weird. But yeah, I woke up to having my limb cut off in a dream. It was a weird dream. Y'all ever get weird dreams? I have one family member, they never dream. And I dream every single night. They're not always weird, but I have had some really weird ones. You'd be surprised how often I end up like waking up to being like eaten alive, killed with an axe. Like there's actually quite a few of them that are quite brutal, actually. Interesting. But I think I might have been going somewhere with this, and I don't remember what it is. Why am I so cold? Oh my gosh. It's it's 74 degrees in my house, which is not cold. And yet here I am with a scarf and a blanket, and I'm still cold. And I'm drinking hot tea. Cheers. Nummy nummy. Anyway, I'm not gonna lie, I spent pretty much all morning on social media. But I have built my algorithm brick by brick, so it's usually just like parenting, marriage, and Jesus. I say as a very single person. And I don't know what I'm gonna do today yet. Oh my. One of the things that's really been sticking out to me though, they kind of merge together, but it's how I address my family, you know? We have a decent amount of conflict, not gonna lie. And I can point out the things in my family that cause the conflict. But I'm realizing my pride has gotten quite big because for a split second, I actually had the thought, it's them, not me. And I think that is such a dangerous thought. And today, twice today, since I had this thought last night, I've gotten into an argument with a family member. One on abortion and two on modesty. And it was just, there's a balance, you know, of standing on truth while also not I'm not good with balance. I think I was using too much logic and not enough Jesus. Yeah. Because, like, you can fight logic all you want. But Jesus, can't fight Jesus. Well, you can fight Jesus, but you're going to lose. But anyway, as I was scrolling through the social medias today, I came across this sermon, and I can't remember everything in the sermon, but one thing has just, like, stuck out at me, and that is something that he was quoting someone else when he said this, but he said, even our good deeds are rotten at its core. And it just reminded me of that Bible verse, Romans 3, 10 through 12, somewhere in there, it says, no one is good, no, not one. Romans 3:12. I might be quoting that wrong. But then it's quoting the Psalms, which, fun fact, it's quoting both Psalms 12 and 53. I'm going to have to relook that up. Like, David said it twice, which is so cool. And it was almost word for word, too. I loved it. We're going off on a tangent here. Oh, no one is good, no, not one. And then you get that quote, even our good deeds are rotten at their core. And, then we get that pride going and conflict happens and we, or at least me, I start pointing at the other person and pointing out all the ways that they messed up. And it's like, but what about that love that God calls us to have? Am I really addressing this in the best way? Am I treating them like God died for them? Am I treating them like they are a loved one to the person that I love? Like if you love someone and they love hold on, if you're in a relationship with someone, hubby, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, I don't know, if you got a significant other and they've got a family member whom they adore, the family member got a lot of flaws, but they love this person so much, like, you're not gonna treat them a certain way, like you're gonna you may not like them, you may find them slightly annoying, but you're gonna treat them with respect and dignity, and you're gonna try to love them the way your significant other loves them. And I also saw this thing earlier today that talked about how adult relationships are not meant to be unconditional. Like unconditional love, you know what I mean? And I kind of found that heartbreaking. Like, we live in a society where everybody craves unconditional love, but nobody's willing to give unconditional love. I mean, it's impossible for us as people to love unconditionally because we're people, we're flawed, we're inherently selfish. But I mean, that's kind of how we're called to love. Not even kind of, that is. Love your enemies, pray for those who persecute you. And family is not even enemy. Anyway, that's where I feel surrender really grabbing me, poking at me. Huh? Where I feel God asking me to surrender. Anyway, I think that is probably it for today. I'm gonna have to figure out what I'm doing task wise for the day, because I don't know. I do gotta do these floors though. They're looking rough. And I might wash that guy. Anyway, I'm gonna go. The tiredness makes me delirious. I apologize. I don't know what that accent is. It's like a really bad wannabe King Julian. Like a really bad. Anyway, I guess until next time, have fun, stay safe, don't die. But if you do, give Jesus a big hug for me. Bye, guys.